Ciao, hi, hey, hola, guys. Hope you can hear me clearly. It's your boy M.K.S here, another video. Forgot to say namaste, energy and all that good stuff. I have a terrible habit of filling my tea too much. I've got to be careful not to too much of it. Anywho, it's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video, and I realised I hadn't done this for a long time. I didn't complete, as far as I'm aware, parts 3 and 4. I'm just going to check I'm live on Facebook, actually, sorry, I can't remember. Looks like I'm live on Facebook and YouTube. I was looking back at this for this video, and I'd hope, it seems to have been deleted on Facebook. I'm hoping it wasn't, because I couldn't see it, so I'm not sure if Facebook's deleted videos. I hope not, because I feel it's a bit of a waste of my time making them if they're just going to be deleted. But I guess that's the reason why I make them on both Facebook and YouTube, just in case things like that happen, which is really annoying. I hope they've got a record of it somewhere, whatever, which can be used or whatever. I also hope I can put my ideas into action. But anyway, for this one, I'm focusing on the YouTube screen. There are a few things I was going to say, but I think I'll say them in part 4, the fourth and final part, hopefully, after this one. So, anywho, yeah, these are my plans for connecting a bridge, building a bridge between Africa and Asia through Egypt. So how I'd love for Egypt to host events, summits, conferences, and things like that. I think I worked on this one. When I say worked on, I mean made a video like this in parts 1 and 2 in the beginning of April, and I didn't get round to it, so it's taken ages. Also, I didn't finish parts 3 and 4 of my plans ahead for May. Come what may, hopefully everything will be okay. But I know it's towards the end of the month now, so it's a bit late in the day, so to speak. But yeah, I'm hoping to get around to that. But I've realised the intro's gone, as usual, longer than planned. But I was going to talk about something about cancelling some of my plans to focus on this. But again, I'll probably try and focus on that in part 4 and record in later videos. But anyway, hope you enjoy my ideas, and I'd love to have your suggestions as ever. So these are pointers number 21 to 30 as per usual. So I hope you can hear me clearly enough. There's a bit of background noise, so I'm hoping that's not in the way too much. But yeah, no, I don't have the loudest voice, so I'm trying to project my voice so you can hear what I'm saying, hopefully as well as possible, because I want to promote these ideas. It's my way of expressing myself. But I did try and keep this intro down to a minute, but I failed at that. So I'm going to crack on with the list. So point number 21, I would love to see Africans and Asians to learn about each other's history and bring it to the world, the history of Africa and Asia, and the good, the bad, and the ugly side of the history. But people to find out the history of Africa and Asia, the culture and tradition, even though I'm not hugely into culture and tradition, but also what they've contributed to the world, what they've invented, what they can be proud of, and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'd love for them to bring the history to each other and to the world. And I'd love for, as Egypt, to host events where Asians and Africans can talk about their history with each other, learn about each other's histories, I'll say. So as bringing Africans and Asians together to learn about each other's histories. Moving on to number 22, also looking at what they can do in the future to achieve as much as possible. So yeah, seeing what they can do to help each other's economies to grow into the future, and see what they can achieve, what they can invent, and things like that. Moving on, number 23. Can't think of too many points to say in point number 22, which is probably for the best. But moving on to point number 23, I'd love for Egypt to invite investors from across Africa and Asia, and entrepreneurs and whatnot from Africa and Asia to talk about their products and meet with investors and potential consumers, have their own markets. I imagine that having market stalls where they promote their. I'm deciding to watch a movie right here. I sometimes wish does it purposely distract me. But yeah, I would love for them to invite, as I say, investors, ideas people, entrepreneurs, funders, and things like that. I imagine them having market stalls and selling their products and things like that, selling their items and products to potential investors. Sorry, one of the disadvantages of doing my videos live. But yeah, I've got to project my voice. It's not the loudest. I know some people say I should stand when I do my videos because then I can get the voice going louder. But as I say, I'd love for them to bring in investors and people like that, and to be able to market and promote and brand their goods towards potential investors and also towards potential consumers, and that kind of thing, and talk about what their businesses do, and basically bring their stuff to market and that kind of thing. Also, too, I was thinking about, I Googled, and I was surprised Google found the answer. It's almost like it read my mind about what I was going to ask. I don't know how it answers these questions so easily and so quickly. You should ask them the meaning of life. But on a serious note, I asked them, like, I typed in what if there was to be. I didn't expect to see an answer, but what if there was to be what if there was to be a better chain of memory. Sorry, what if there was to be a joint collective sovereign wealth fund for all of Asia? And it said it would be really big, between about 5.9, sorry, to $6 trillion or something that would be worth. So if there was one for all of Africa and Asia, I think it'd be amazing what they could do together. The only problem is, I guess, who would run it and how would you trust them? Could Egypt be trusted to sort of facilitate that money, obviously benefit their economy, but how can the rest of Asia and Africa trust them to allocate that money and to allocate the returns? I think if you try and backstab people in the longer term, it could go against you. So not necessarily, but I suppose I think with people like Bill Gates or whatever, supposedly backstab people and are ruthless entrepreneurs, but it seemed to work for them. But I think it could always backfire, I guess. But look at how they could allocate that capital, invest together. Allocate is a big word for me. Allocation, even a bigger word. But yeah, someone bring out the scrabble board. But on a serious note, yeah, if they had a joint or collective sovereign wealth fund, again, I don't know if that could work. Maybe I'm being naive, but yeah, I'd love for, as I say, Egypt to host events with potential investors, sponsors, entrepreneurs, and people want to find out about businesses to invest in them, and like to encourage people from Africa and Asia to buy products from Africa and Asia to benefit their economies collectively, and to build a bridge between them as the only transcontinental country between them, I believe. Yeah, I'd love to see what they could achieve. And again, I wonder if Egypt could host a sort of thing where they bring all the different investors and even sovereign wealth funds and things like that to invest in things together. Hopefully, like a Time Football Celtic, and each other as well, and things like that. Also, I'd love to promote libertarianism across Asia and Africa. Moving on to point number 24, as I say, I'd love for them to build a bridge between Africa and Asia. And these are my ways of this is my way of expressing my ideas through my writings and through my writings and my videos and things like that. So, as I say, this is my diary. Scruffy writing, but problem with this small diary is I find it hard to with my scruffy writing between these short, really small lines. But not much space for my large handwriting and whatnot, and my way of writing right to the edge and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it'd be cool if they could build a bridge between Africa and Asia and like promote things like libertarianism and things like that, and invest in each other and help each other to sell products and hopefully benefit both Africa and Asia together as much as possible. Again, I'd love to know, what do you think? Am I being naive, or do you think there's some potential what they could achieve in doing so? Moving on, number 25, I'd love to promote libertarianism personally. I'm talking about my own personal goals and dreams. I'd love to promote libertarianism and that kind of thing across Africa and Asia, and republicanism, I beg your pardon. That might be a hard sell. I mean, I guess a country that is a monarchy would probably not want to change. And I don't imagine a monarchist or a monarchy power sort of wanting to give up their power. I was thinking, for instance, like initially I thought Malaysia, India, Indonesia, and Singapore all looked after their Eurasian populations, because I've heard of Indos, but apparently Indonesians have sort of blamed like elements, Eurasians, for colonization, so they didn't treat them as well. I think Malaysia always has had their own spaces for Kristangs, which is their Eurasian population, but I'm not 100% sure if that's true or not, if that's accurate or not. but they yeah, I thought that's probably something that would make me want to support Malaysia more, to sort of say thanks for looking after Eurasians. But then again, I guess Indonesia is a republic and Malaysia isn't. So I guess both have their pros and cons. Like India is not only looked after Eurasians, but also is a republic and also even gave us seats in parliament. So hopefully they can reinstate some of those rights. And I think if us Eurasians show we support those who help us, hopefully that will encourage others to want to support us in the future. There's something else I wanted to say about talking about Eurasians. I want to talk about Blasians. I'll talk about that in point number 29 without wanting to give too much away. I know I've mentioned them before, but moving on, number 26, maybe they could even lobby together for reparations, by working together to lobby for reparations internationally, and also to sort of say Asian and African nations could vouch for each other, if you like, to stand up for each other and say, we want, like, say, Egypt itself, or and China, India, South Africa, Kenya, and other parts of Africa and Asia could say, I suppose people already stand up for like the global south and say most of the world's population live in the global south, as it's called, or the east or whatever. So many people call it the global south. So they should have more of a voice at the UN, and that kind of thing. There's something else I was going to say about town football, but I think I'll say a bit later. But yeah, I think it'd be cool if they stood up for reparations and support each other. Number 27, I'd love for Egypt also to host award shows, and I probably should have said this in the opposite order actually, but I'd say I'd love for them to host award shows, ceremonies, and things like that, summits, conferences, events, and things like that generally, but including like to award and reward those who support African and Asian, probably both entrepreneurs and things like unity and Pan-Asianism and Africanism, and that kind of thing. I was going to say, normally I like to say a selfish one first out of the way, as I say, look after number one, but I was going to say, talking about Italian football, I say in the wrong order for point number 27, but anyway. There you go. But point number 27, as I sorry, I remember my train of thought. As I say, I'd love to promote Italian football across Africa and Asia, and also to Celtic as well, playing green and white. And point to this, because it's green and white. But yeah, I'd love for them to talk about investing into Italian football and invite Italian football there, and Italians to play football with Africans and Asians in Egypt and that kind of thing. It's really annoying. I was going to say something I've completely forgotten. Yeah, I suppose as a reward for me supporting them, I hope they all support Italian football and Celtic, and I'd love to encourage more Asians and Africans to invest into, sponsor, support, follow, have academies with, and practice with, and have partnerships basically with practicing with Italians and also Celtic as well. Similar sort of thing, and hopefully, I know there's a lot of racism unfortunately in Italy, but maybe they can improve relations through football, bringing people together. I know Monday was World Football Day as it happens. Monday just gone about 3 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, but yeah, 3 days ago. But anyway, yeah, it's really frustrating. I forgot that idea I was going to say about Italian football. Yeah, sorry, something about rewards or something. I'm sure about Italian football, but that's really annoying. I've forgotten it, but maybe I'll remember it in part 4 either. But moving on, again, another disadvantage of doing live videos, but I do find it, I kind of find it easier, but also I don't really like to edit things or whatever. Not just for laziness, just, I don't know, I just like to keep things as they are, I guess, something like that. Yeah, I probably won't be able to decide which bits to get rid of or whatever if I edit it or try to edit, so please forgive me for that. But moving on, number 28, I hope they can turn negative situations into positives. Number 29, and I'm glad I remember this one. I was talking about Eurasians and all that kind of thing, how different nations treat Eurasians, but in this case, I was thinking, what if Blasians could visit Egypt and also talk about how Blasians could benefit African and Asian nations? Blasians being, for those who don't know, Blasians being those who are part black and part Asian, so a mix, just like Eurasians are part European and part Asian. Blasians are part black and part Asian part Asian for those who don't know. So maybe they could talk about how they could benefit their ancestral homeland. So what ideas they could have. A lot of times I prefer Eurasians to support Asia more because I guess because of like white supremacy and that kind of thing. But I guess, I mean, I know Asian nations unfortunately can also be racist, unfortunately. But it'd be cool if they built bridges. As I said in the past, like recently, that I wonder why a lot of Asian nations are anti-black when it's not. Like in history, it wasn't black people that brought them down or whatever, took over their land and called them racial slurs. I mean, they might have done that, but I think they copied white guys. But I was going to say something controversial. They copied the honkies. Just joking. But yeah, also I'd love to spread awareness of mental health problems and disability rights and neurodivergent strengths as well, and a method to the madness, like what mentally ill people can do for people from Africa and Asia to learn about that kind of thing, and rights and diversity and that kind of thing. And number 30, probably one of those I shouldn't say. I normally say it towards the end of the video. I did put this saying it's not. Well, I did say it's not for children, but I didn't put age restricted. But I normally say towards the end of the video, and also I normally say in harsh tones, and I normally say because it rhymes with dirty as well. I was thinking, if I could, a confession as ever. I normally say, I think like adult movies like pornos where like white guys get screwed black and Asian chicks, and Asians and blacks get to screw white chicks, and that kind of thing in Egypt. In this case, preferably the latter more so. But on that bombshell, I'm out. Peace and love.